So concerts, DJ receptions, everywhere we perform, we put the speakers in front of, basically it's like, here we are, the speakers, and it's into the crowd. The speakers are in front. As soon as we go to the ceremony, we're putting the speakers in back. Why do we do that? We put those in.
I don't. I put them up front.
Okay, Dan can't answer this question. Cubbie, so...
Sorry.
No,
I think... Go ahead, Dan.
Yeah. So Dan, let's flesh his out. So why don't you put your speakers in back? Because you've seen pictures. I mean, let's face it. Mike Walter's got pictures from 1,000 weddings, and you never see that speaker from the front of the room. It's always in back.
Well, and I think a lot of people put them in the back because that's where you are, right? Like that's the easiest thing. Like your setup's here, so you run it to there. And I've had a lot of people even go to the simplistic ceremony setup where everything's on a single tripod. You hook a tray onto the tripod and you go right into the speaker and it's all right there. But what I've often noticed is, and this is, sound is coming from the front. Right, like the officiant is up front, and if you're having a bride and groom, the bride is walking from the back to the front, so she wants to hear the music the whole way through. So if I have my speakers sitting up front and I put one on each side, shooting at the crowd, all the sound is coming from where it's supposed to. I can be anywhere I need to be. I use in-ear monitor systems for wireless send, so I can put my speaker where I need it to be. Without having to worry about where I am. But shooting it from the front makes it a little bit nicer. That's why I do it. And I started doing this. This is my second year now doing it. And I've had videographers who are very happy about what I'm doing. I put them far enough out so they're not in the pictures, but yet the sound is coming the way that it should be. And so much easier to control feedback because my speaker isn't pointing right at the microphone on the officiant.
Cubbie, where do you put these speakers when you're doing your ceremonies?
Where there's a lot of different venues around here that sometimes I'm in the side, sometimes I'm in the front, sometimes I'm in the back. It all depends on where the power is most easy accessible. Like so there's a couple they're literally on the side. I'm just projecting from the side over here, and sometimes I'm in the back. I just adjust to where they've always done it. Mm-hmm. Basically, I'm not there to make any waves or do anything different. If they say they normally do it in the back, I just always do it in the back. If they say do it on the side, I do it on the side.
Yeah, and I've got a similar situation with some of the venues that have sound on a regular basis. They're like, we always set it up over here, and that's what, basically following along. One of the schools have thought of putting it in the back, and Dan, you kind of mentioned the feedback situation. Is that if I'm using a lapel mic and if I have the speakers way on the other side of the crowd, that maybe I can get more gain before feedback when it comes to the lav mic. Or you have the situation like today that we saw during the ceremony, is that when a person went to go speak into the microphone and and we've all seen this, they start talking and are thinking, oh my gosh, I'm so loud, and they start pulling that microphone away. Whereas when the speakers were on the other end of the room and all the guests were between the speakers and the person talking, maybe the guests could hear before they would hear better. That there was many rules of thought of why they would turn up in the back. But in reality, there's an echo problem, or there can be an echo or a slight delay. And if you've ever experienced that, been in a longer room where you're 100 feet away from your speakers, and you feel like you need to start talking slower because their words are starting to feel like they're on top of you, it's weird. And if someone's not experienced when it comes to speaking that way or hearing themselves, they're going to get freaked out. And then I don't need a microphone. I talk loud. And then it's like, well, I just set this whole sound system up and you're being a putz. But anyway, ideally though, I think the Dan's theory is with the being able to control it and aim the speakers properly and do it is the best way to do it. But I too have the same situation, Cubbie. Sometimes you can.
I would say
sometimes you can't.
I would say also, as a in industry, we've come a long way with this, because I think one of the other problems was, exactly as Cubbie's mentioned, power availability and cable runs and things of that nature. We're doing all these outdoor events, and 5 years ago, 6 years ago, we really didn't have a good battery type of situation short of like hooking something up to like said speakers. Now between, the eVerse 8, between the Bose S1, the JBL systems, like there are these battery powered speakers that now allow you to put where's going to make the most sense. As well as multitude of different wireless battery style wireless hookups that'll last for a ceremony plus. So, I would encourage you from an audio standpoint to start thinking about some of those things, especially if you already have some of those speakers. You might be a lot closer to being able to put it in different spots than what you're used to and get a better experience than what you've had in the past.
Excellent. Gentlemen, we're going to sneak one more question in quick before we have to send everyone to the Hanging with Howie, which is up next. We put the link in the chat. You guys will be able to get to that in just a second. We're going to do one more question.